Alright guys, welcome back. This is Vape. I'm back with another game of League of Legends. I'm going to be playing, or rather I'm going to be casting another ranked game for you guys. This is another very high rated game. This is roughly around 2400 and we're going to jump straight into it now. Let's start with the top. Again, I'm going to go straight through the ratings. This time I'm going to start at the bottom. Now we have Caitlyn and Varus. Caitlyn is 2488 at Diamond 1. Varus has 2491 at Diamond 1. Now, Janna, I couldn't look her up because she has a funny accent thing in her name, and I just couldn't type it in on LOLKing, so I couldn't really figure out what her rating is, or at least what her LOLKing score is. But Taric is 2499 in Diamond 1. So far all we have are Diamond 1 players. Now in the middle we have Kate versus Gragas. Kayle versus Gragas rather. Kayle is Diamond 1 with 2488. Gragas is 2410 at Diamond 2. So that's the first player that we have that is Diamond 2. Now while these guys are not doing anything special, alright, let's go top first because it looks like these guys are pretty close to each other and it's a bit pushed as well. So we have a Diamond 4 Shen. This guy is the lowest rated player in this game. Not sure if he's queuing with somebody or he simply got put in here because he has a very good win-loss ratio. He's in Diamond 4 with 2309. Oh, we missed first blood. I'm gonna have to go back to that. So let's follow him. Right, so Hecarim was running into a Gragas with 2410. And he's diving straight under the tower, just getting that kill instantly. There was no escape for Gragas there. Kayle taking her down too low. Obviously I missed that, I'm sorry about that. But that does happen, unfortunately. Now, let's quickly have a look at the junglers. Hecarim is actually Diamond 3. With 2395. He's the second lowest rated player here, and he's playing against Diana in jungle. Diana is actually at 2456 in Diamond 2, so she's actually still up there in the high diamonds. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the player coverage. All these players are very high rated. The only low, well not low, he's still miles higher than me and probably a lot of the people that are watching this, is Shen. He seems to be one of the lowest rated players here. Now there's a lot of exchange going on here up top. They're both going to drop very low. Shen has a lot of minions attacking him. This might get dangerous. He is going into the bush. Never want to do that against Kha'Zix. Kha'Zix of course getting his passive, which is Unseen Threat, doing extra magic damage whenever he gets out of line of sight. Of course going to bush causes that, which is a very big mistake by Shen. Now I'm not sure what the thought process of that was. I think he was expecting Hecarim to get here a little bit earlier, but of course that didn't happen and that ended up costing Shen his life. They're still pretty even up top. Hecarim is preventing Kha'Zix from doing too much farm, which is kind of good. Now there's both of these guys going straight into the bush. Kayle does end up picking up that kill. The Ignite not going to finish her off. She has about 85 health left after that Ignite tick. I think it was 89 actually to be exact. And we have a 2-to-1 exchange now. The way I see it right now, Kayle is going to be about even with Gragas, even though she has a 1-0-1. The reason for that is Gragas becomes this crazy tanky champion late game in the middle, and you can see that he got a Doran's ring in the start, which means that he's already going towards that tankiness that Gragas gets, because he's just a very tanky champion. And that kind of plays out very well towards the late game, not only because his damage is good, but also because he's very difficult to kill and he has a lot of sustain with his mana regen as well as health regen every time he casts a spell. So there we go, look, health regeneration every time he casts a spell. Drunken Rage is actually a buff, which he casts himself. I'm not sure which one it is that increases his mana regen. Yeah, it's health that is the passive, and then one of his... Oh yes, Drunken Rage actually increases, gives him some mana back whenever he casts it. So as you can see, it has no cost. It brings him back mana, as well as giving him damage. Now, They are doing a lot of pinging at the bottom. I'm not quite sure what's going to be going on here. The way I see it at the moment, Janna might be a bit of a more dangerous AD carry, or sorry, support than Taric for now, because she has that shield, which is going to give a lot of AD to Varus, as well as that shield, of course. So as you can see there, Taric is a bit more pesky because he's just in his face all the time trying to stun. But whoa, look at that Janna, she is so ridiculously low, 30 health. If Caitlyn would level up right now, this would spell disaster for the bottom purple team. Luckily for them, she's not level 6 yet, and she is going to get away. Wow, this is not a good idea. This is definitely not a good idea going in like that. She could get picked off here quite easily, but Caitlyn just stands there and lets them kill her. Not the best of choices, I would say. That would have been a very, very poor decision. Now Shen does come in here, ending up saving Caitlyn. But what are we going to see here? I'm not sure if this is going to be a good idea from Hecarim diving into 3 people, even though she does have that ult coming in. Of course, Diana does block it, but here comes Hecarim. He might do enough damage to take somebody out, but it does look like they're going to have to back off, and almost actually getting Hecarim there. Maybe 1 or 2 more auto hits would have ended up just sealing the deal there for the purple team at the bottom. So the purple team doing quite well right now in terms of players at the bottom, whereas the middle and jungle seem to be doing a little bit better for the blue team. Now another kill actually going off. Gragas getting a kill from the gank. I didn't miss. Sorry, I did miss that. So I'm gonna quickly go back to the bottom, see how exactly that happened. Now it does look like he's just gonna ult him. A very sneaky move. Not exactly even trying to get a skill shot in there. Just goes splat and just kills him. So Greg is actually going in there just to push that lane just a little bit. Not quite sure if the purple team is very happy about that. Of course, getting your lane pushed when you don't want it to be pushed is not a great option, especially when you want to farm. Now the farm on both the AD carries is very even right now. Caitlyn's going to push just a little bit ahead because she was back in the lane just a little bit earlier. But of course that's not going to make that much of a difference, especially considering Varus has now got a BF sword. Now the only difference is Varus does not have boots. Even though Caitlyn might have that extra bit of attack speed, she doesn't have as much damage as Varus. So we're going to see how it balances out. I'm not quite sure how it's going to work. The only thing that I see is a big advantage for the purple team is the shield from Janna also gives AD. So let's quickly have a look. I think it's about 30 AD, 32 damage when at rank 3. At rank 4 it's about 45, and I think it's 60 at rank 5. So there we go. Taric coming in there with a stun, not agreeing with that stun exactly. He is of course going to then focus on Varus. Varus taking a lot of damage, but as you can see, Varus has so much damage right now. They might even get in a bit of trouble if they keep this up. But of course Janna does have to back off. Caitlyn is almost full health. Both the supports dropping pretty low there. Not quite sure how good that was for the purple team, because of course Janna does have to back off right now, unless she does have pots, which she does not. She is going to risk staying there. Now the only problem with that is Caitlyn has her ult, so if she hits Varus a little bit too much now, if she just manages to harass just that little bit, then they might have a bit of a problem. Now they are spotting or spamming return from Diana, because Diana is very close here. She might intercept Taric. Taric might get oh my god, he's not going to get caught, but then she does of course ult, securing that kill. It does look like Varus is going to pick that up, and Caitlyn does get stunned, but of course since Varus got the kill, that doesn't really matter. Now Diana not exactly missing you know, that gank completely, but of course her lunar I don't know what it's called, crescent strike, I think. Yeah, it did miss. Now they are spotting Kayle here, so Kayle is going to be causing a little bit of threat here, causing them to back off just that tiny bit, but it does look like they are going to want to back off here anyways, because they are getting a little bit too close to the tower. Now Hecarim is actually very close here nearby. We do also have a kill here. It does look like Kha'Zix actually ended up diving Shen. So Shen not doing that great now. He's at 66 minions to 84 on Kha'Zix, and he also has 2 deaths. So Kha'Zix is going to be becoming very, very dangerous. Wow, look at Caitlyn might get killed here. This is going to be very, very dangerous. Of course, Hecarim is going to be nearby to help, and it does look like he's going to secure that kill onto Varus. And Caitlyn is just about alive there. This is going to be very, very dangerous. They're spam pinging like crazy. Let's see what the blue team sees. F1 it is, and it does look like they did spot Diana. They know where she is, so they're not exactly too scared of her right now. It does look she might come in here. This might cause a big problem for Kayle. Kayle Also getting a bit of help from Shen and Hecarim. Hecarim coming in just in a nick of time, countering that Diana. Very, very good teamwork right there. Getting extra help from both the jungler and the top laner. That was a great kill secured. KS, no, it's not a KS. That was a very, very good kill. Shen not quite able to get that taunt in. I'm going to bring it back to the all vision again. So there you go. The purple team have started to pull ahead just a tiny little bit. As you can see, Gragas at 2-2-0, and I'm not quite sure how it's going to continue, but at the moment, the way I see it, Gragas is going to be a lot more dangerous than Kayle with his ult, because of course Gragas's ult usually ends up starting off some very, very badass engages, or even securing a kill when an enemy is about to get away. So there we go. Caitlyn did get Janna pretty low, but I don't think she's actually going to ult her. She does have the ult ready, of course, but it's a bit obvious that Varus would just end up blocking it. She's probably going to wait until she can harass Varus as well, and if she can get him a little bit low, then he might reconsider actually blocking the hit, in which case you know, they wouldn't she wouldn't try to ult, or rather he wouldn't try to block it, in case he would die himself. And of course it's better to sacrifice your support than to sacrifice yourself. Oh, there we go. That was very close. I'm gonna go back quickly, see how close that that ult was. So there you go. Janna is gonna back off. They're gonna try to prevent her from moving back. And did you see that? He was just about in range of that shot. Very, very close. They're blocking it, taking a bit of damage, but he can of course take it. Now does look like they're going to jump onto Taric here, but Taric is full health. He can just ignore them completely and wait for Caitlyn to arrive. Now she does get that stun in. There we go. We have a kill going off. Caitlyn picking that up. Very, very dangerous. But Taric is going to get killed in return for a bit of greed, of course, with that Diana's help. It does look like where's that noise coming in? Actually, it's on Kayle. I'm sorry. I thought it was. I automatically assumed that it was Shen, seeing as Shen was kind of getting eaten up top by Kha'Zix. Now Shen is going to get a lot more tanky now. It looks like he is rushing for a Warmogs, which means that he's probably going to end up getting so tanky that Kha'Zix is just simply not going to be able to burst him down in time, and the turret's going to be pretty much Shen's best help. Of course, Shen's damage also scales off his health. As you can see there, key strike every 9 seconds. It does 10% of his damage plus a flat amount, which is currently 40. I think it scales a tiny little bit later on. And of course, basic attacks reduce this by 1 second. So later on, I do think that Shen is going to become a little bit too tanky for Kha'Zix to be taken out. Unless, of course, Kha'Zix gets so fed up, or so fed that he's going to be just doing so much damage. But it does look like Caitlyn's going to want to back off here. It does look like Taric and Hecarim engaging here. I'm not quite sure if this is the best of ideas. Does look like Janna might be in a bit of trouble. Hecarim chasing right after. She does have a shield as well. Hecarim going in there. He's actually doing quite a lot of damage to all of them as well, even though he's not really focusing them. It does look like he might. No, he's going to have to back off from that. From Diana and Janna escaping very, very closely. That could have resulted in a double kill for Hecarim if he did have a little bit more help from Caitlyn, but of course Caitlyn was a little bit low for that. Now there we go. This is how exactly this happened. Kayle actually just jumped in there. Not a great option to be jumping in through the bush like that. Of course, what's his name? Kha'Zix always getting that extra damage when he goes into bushes, because he does disappear from your line of sight just momentarily, and that causes massive problems for players. I mean, it does look like a good option to chase after Kha'Zix. You might think, yeah, I have more health, I have more damage, but then if you think about it, if he's in that bush, he almost like has like a 50% extra damage. I mean, look at that, 125 plus 3 based on AP, of course, damage, and also slows. So it's just a very bad idea to end up actually following Kha'Zix into a bush. It's always a bad idea, unless of course you're ridiculously fed or you're a tank. Now Dragon is kind of securely warded here all the time with the pink ward, and Gragas actually coming in behind here. They might get in a bit of trouble here if he ults them. This could be very dangerous. Getting a nice barrel roll onto Taric, and it does look like Taric is a little bit low, but the other guys from the purple team did not want to engage this. They're not sure if it's very safe right now, and they were right to do so actually, because of course Hecarim was around the place. So quite a smart move not to engage her. They might also try to engage, but look, Gragas trying to do a bit of damage onto Caitlyn. I think he's hovering a little bit too long now because Caitlyn is arriving. They might want to back off. They're going to spot her right now, which means they are going to start to back off. But of course, it's actually currently 3 versus 2 with Hecarim. Never mind, Hecarim is just very close, so he'll be alright. Kayle doing a lot of damage, but Varus gets shielded, which negates. Oh, look at that! There's a nice ult from Varus. This might end up ugly for the blue team, taking a lot of damage. Gragas actually picking that kill up with his Q. Very, very nice shot. Perfectly timed right after the ult. Diana coming in here, cleaning up. She is going to pick up Caitlyn right there, and there we have another kill onto Taric. So that was a 3-0 trade. Very, very good. Yeah, that Diana really screwed up their plans right there. And Varus, of course, with his perfect ult, that was absolutely fantastic. Very nice ult coming in from Varus, securing that kill. Actually, look at that. Kha'Zix getting another kill onto Shen. Shen in a lot of trouble right now because he has gotten 0-3 to himself. Only 1 assist from that gank in the middle that went bad for the purple team. But Kha'Zix is at 4-0. This is going to be a very big problem for them towards the later game. Now, the AD carries are only a considerable amount difference, but it's not that massive. Come on, one more hit. Yes, there we go. Hecarim picking up that one last kill. It does look like he might get away from here. Wow, look at that. Oh shit, look at that. No, never mind. There was just too much obstacles there to get across. Unfortunately giving away 3 assists as well as that kill. That was a bit unfortunate. He should have maybe... Well, of course, he couldn't really tell how this was going to end. He didn't know Gragas was there, perhaps. And... ended up giving that extra assist, or rather extra kill to Gragas. Now Gragas 4-2-2 after going 0-2-0. Damn, this guy is starting to come back right now, and the tankiness and survival is starting to show off just a little bit in his gameplay. As you can see right now, he has 1600 health, 1700 almost. Let's compare that to Kayle. Kayle has 1600. She actually has almost as much, but the only thing is she has a health item, as well as the fact that she's not as tanky as he is going to get later on. As you can see, he does have only a Doran's ring and he has more health than her. This might actually also come in effect from the level. Yeah, he's 2 levels ahead. I take that back. She is probably a little bit more tanky on the runes than Gragas himself. But Gragas does become later... if he had a Rod of Ages now, he would probably end up having a bit more health than Kayle. He's just that kind of tanky champion, you know, like the bruisers on top that just get too much scaling off their health. Now, Kha'Zix is finally going to have to back off here, getting pushed back by 1, 2, 3 people, as well as actually getting a bit of reinforcements there. So he does have Gragas and Diana come in, and this could turn very, very badly for the blue team. Purple team baiting them into this. This was Gragas just blowing up that Taric. Very, very good. Diana is going to probably... well, sorry, actually Kha'Zix picked up that kill, so he's at 5-0 right now, killing that Kayle. Kayle got a little bit out of place. Of course, Hecarim did manage to get away there. At bottom we have... Oh, this might be a risky dive. If Caitlyn picks up that kill, that'll be pretty bad for the purple team. She does end up getting that kill, but of course Varus gets her in return. Not a great trade, I would say, especially considering Dale got a kill and an assist for the purple team there. Now, the purple team is actually quite a fair bit ahead right now. I'm not quite sure if this is good for them. Of course, the purple team can't really do any better than this right now. They're at a very, very steady lead. They are going to be trying to do... never mind, there's a surrender. So that was a very quick game, only 20 minutes long. It does look like the blue team just gave up on that one. And yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this game. It was a very short one, unfortunately. I was hoping for a bit of a longer game, but this is going to be my new system right now. I'm going to be doing a quick introduction to the players. I'm not going to be naming them because obviously I'm most likely never going to run into them again, or at least maybe only a few of them. But I'm going to be telling their LOL King rating, which is I think people are based that on ELO right now. I'm not quite sure if it is the exact ELO or if it's just a rough estimate based on LOL King's calculation methods. But I'll also be mentioning their league, which is going to be the more important part for you guys, and a rough estimate of where what ELO the match is currently at. So hope you enjoyed this game. I'm gonna call it quick man of the match for this one, and I'm gonna say it was Gragas. I'm not even gonna say it was Kha'Zix because Kha'Zix was just kind of more busy up top than he was in the actual lanes. So Gragas, I gotta say they owe him this one because he absolutely raped them after he got 0-2. He came back with 5 kills in a row. His ult was absolutely brilliant. He caught a lot of people, and that's pretty much it. So Gragas, well done for this game. You have won it for them most likely. Of course, they all did their part. Of course, Varus also had that great engage at the bottom. And I think I'll end it here because I'm rambling on a little bit too much. So see you guys in the next game. Vapo, and I'm out. Thanks for watching.